Hello everyone. The title of our presentation for reflections is for today is how to be a proactive and effective person. Habit 1 of the 7 habits of highly effective people is be proactive. That means focusing and acting on what you can control and influence instead of what you cannot. Jesus is the most proactive person in heaven and on earth. He remained proactive, not reactive in every minute of his life. He chose his response. In Luke 23, chapter 23, verse 33, he said, "And when they came to the place that is called the skull, there they crucified him and the criminals, and one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Verse 35, and the people stood by watching. But the rulers scoffed at him, saying, He saved others, let him save himself, if he is the Christ of God, his chosen one. The soldiers also mocked him. A normal person would react with anger, even when they mocked him, challenged him. He chose to remain calm and prayed for them, even when he knows that the hosts of heaven are waiting to rescue him. What a response. During the betrayal and arrest of Jesus, Judas drew near to Jesus to kiss him. But Jesus said to him, Judas, would you betray the Son of Man with a kiss? Verse 49, and when those who were around him saw what would follow, they said, Lord, shall we strike with the sword? And one of them struck the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. But Jesus said, no more of this. Instead of resisting his arrest, he remained calm. Instead of allowing his followers to fight, he told them to stop. Proactive persons are not reactive to stimulus. They are not reactive in their language and reactions. They think of the end result even before they engage. Stephen Covey, the author of the same title, he said, instead of reacting or worrying about conditions over which you have little or no control, proactive people focus their time and energy on things that they can control. Sabi niya, sa pagiging proactive, piliin natin ang maging isipin at gawin sa isang pangyayari o narinig. Sa halip na tayo ay mainis o magalit sa mga bagay na pangyayari o tao na wala naman tayong control o di natin lubhang control. The problems, challenges, and opportunities we face fall in two areas: circle of concern and the circle of influence. Ang mga problema at hamon na kinakaharap natin, maging ang mga oportunidad, ay nasa dalawang klase lang: circle of concern o circle of influence. Proactive people focus on circle of influence. Proactive people focus on circle of influence, not on the circle of concern, which they cannot control. Examples of circle of concerns are things which may affect us, but we have little or no control at all, like global warming, wars, oil price hike, high groceries of rice, high cost of rice and groceries. Examples of circle of influence are relationships, results, things we can influence though still have little control, and make our circle of influence grow. Mas marami dapat your circle of influence. Mas maliit yung circle of concern. When leaders focus on circle of concerns, their circle of influence shrinks or gets smaller and lose precious time and effort on things that matters. Another word we should look at to be proactive is responsibility. Responsibility is response plus ability. as the root word of responsibility. It's the ability to respond to every situation. Be proactive is about taking responsibility for your life. Proactive people recognize that they are responsible. They don't blame circumstances, conditions, or conditioning for their behavior. They know they can choose their behavior. Reactive people, on the other hand, are often affected by their physical environment. They find external sources to blame for their behavior. That means if the weather is good, they feel good. If it's not, it affects their attitude and performance. They blame the weather. They can bring umbrellas. All these external forces act as stimuli that we respond to. Between the stimulus and the response is our greatest power. Pinakamatindi nating kapangyarihan yon, yung pagitan ng stimulus at yung ating response. Because we have the freedom to choose our response in that span of time. One of the most important things we choose is what we say. Our language is a good indicator of how we see ourselves. Ang mga proactive na tao ay di naapektuhan ng mga stimulus, halimbawa mga bagay na nakakairita. Maring salita, pangyayari o kilos ng tao, balita sa TV, kapitbahay, pamilya o sa lugar, environment natin. Iniisip nila kung anong maging resulta ng kanilang aksyon. Dr. Stephen Covey said, "I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions." He does not blame his parents, his past. He takes responsibility for his actions and even his life. Yan ang proactive person. A proactive person says, "I am who I am today because of the decisions I made yesterday or yesteryears." Jesus chose to leave heaven and do the will of the Father. As we have said, he is a proactive, the most proactive person. Philippians 2 said, New International Version, who being in a very nature God did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness and being found in appearance as a man. He chose to die for us. He chose to leave heaven. Iniwan niya ang kanyang pagka-Diyos, maging ang langit upang siya ay magsakripisyo para sa atin. Lord, help us to be proactive like you. In times when things comes on our way, things that may worry us, we don't expect but they just happen. Help us to choose our response. When we hear members and even families raise their voices, help us to be proactive and lower ours and take responsibility to our actions. Give us the ability to respond in times we need to. Thank you for leaving heaven to come and live with us for our sake. Amen. Have a nice day. God bless us all.